I am annoyed. Thursday evening, we ran the webinar. You might have seen about it. Went really well. Really good interaction with everyone. Was about like an hour in total. It was only when I got to the end of it that I realised that I never actually hit record, which, yeah, I was really annoyed about. Today, I'm going to be going through the presentation like I did it at the time, going through the same sort of thing. Obviously, it won't be with the same interaction like we were doing little bits with people on the call. So I'm just going to go back through it, all the same stuff, and yeah, hope you enjoy.
Cool, let's do it. The New Year Fat Loss Accelerator, how you can drop 5 to 10 kilos without cutting carbs, without cutting sugar, without cutting out your social life. So what we're going to cover throughout this presentation is firstly, how to stay on track over the rest of December. Obviously, we don't have long to go now. And I will caveat this by saying that nothing that you do over the next 10 days is going to completely ruin your progress, but we'll cover what to do over the next 10 days to sort of like half keep yourself on track, how to structure your training and nutrition, specifically in the times when you're busy. We'll go into that in the January section as well. What not to do in January. You'll probably know how a lot of people, they'll get to January, that's when they'll start the crazy diets. They want to spend loads of time in the gym, and most of them burn out by February, March, and never make it work. So yeah, we'll go into what not to do, exactly how to stick to a consistent routine to help yourself drop 5 to 10 kilos, tone up, feel more confident. And then, yeah, at the end, little bonus, we'll go into an example training day and training week of how your training could look. So this, before we get into it, probably isn't for you if you're looking for a quick fix, a detox, or a diet pill. This is where, like I said, people will go on the crazy diets, the things that they want to do to lose weight quickly. If you want something that's going to work long term, I don't think anything like that will ever work. It's definitely not for you if you expect perfection or all or nothing. You probably know this anyway, but life is always going to get in the way. The perfect plan rarely ever works, and it's more important having something that fits around your life. Like the perfect plan means nothing if you can't stick to it, so that's part of it as well. And it's probably not for you if you're not willing to take accountability for your habits, because a lot of this does take like looking in the mirror at what you're doing. Some things might be doing right, what you're doing not right, and then being willing to like adapt and make changes where it's needed. But it is for you if you want to learn how to drop body fat while still eating the foods that you love. You'll know that I talk about that all the time. I think it's important to have that balance. But it is for you if you want to learn how to drop body fat while still eating the foods that you love. Again, a lot of people when they go onto these diets, they'll try and cut out everything, like anything that they enjoy, go really strict, and again, that's where it rebounds and just doesn't work. It is for you if you're willing to make small, consistent changes. So it's not about January hitting and you're going all in. It's about small, incremental changes that don't feel like loads, but it's just something that you can stick to. And then finally, you want a clear plan that you can actually stick to long term. So it's about small, steady progress that you can consistently stick to over the long term. So a little bit about me. If you're watching this, you probably know a little bit about me anyway, if you've seen me on my social media. But yeah, just to share something briefly before we get going properly. A big part of why I coach the way that I do. You might have seen about my brother Toby about 10 years ago, coming up to 11 years ago now. He was diagnosed with a terminal brain illness, and at that time, back in 2015, he was only given like 12 to 18 months to live. Up until that point, he'd been a fit, healthy kid, pretty normal upbringing. But it was around when he was like the age of 8 or 9, we noticed like little changes in his behavior. So yeah, when he had to go off for scans just to check and see what was going on. They found something that was called adrenoleukodystrophy, which is like a degenerative progressive brain disorder where just slowly over time, he lost the ability to walk, to talk, to be independent, to feed himself, to eat. So he's now like tube fed. You can see he's in a wheelchair. And yeah, it was a big shock at the time. But yeah, we're now like 10 years on. He's under the circumstances doing well. He's doing way better than like anyone imagined. So yeah, it was kind of seeing that really like shaped my perspective on health, and realizing that it's not just about the numbers on the scale. It's also about quality of life, enjoyment, and just making the most of the time that we have. And that's kind of why I don't believe in like in the extremes. I believe that cutting out the foods that you love, or like constantly restricting yourself, or putting life on hold just to chase fat loss, it just never really sat right with me. I have a couple of photos here of myself. This was me back at university about 18 months ago now. So that's before I started working as a fitness coach. Not really 100% sure on what I wanted to do with my life, but yeah, study sports science. That was me then. And then this was me doing a half marathon back 2.5 years ago now. And yeah, that was really good. Raise money for Make-A-Wish. This photo of Toby here, that was when Make-A-Wish gifted us a trip to Barcelona. So I thought I'd pay them back and do a half marathon. Raised over something like 2,500, which was like really good. Really great experience. And yeah, you can, if you want to go onto my YouTube, talk a little bit more about my story more recently, about issues that I've personally had going on. I'm not going to get into that on this call now, but if you want to learn more about that, then yeah, go and check out that video from like 2-3 weeks ago, talking about my own health. So that's on there. But again, it's like that is something, even what I've been going through recently, something that has reinforced kind of everything that I'm doing. And like, your plan has to support your life and not drain it. So yeah, so now going into a few clients a few stand-up clients that I've been working with. This is Karen, who yeah, been working with for the past about a couple of months now. Before we started, she didn't really know what she was doing in the gym. She was quite new to the gym. Didn't know what she was doing with her nutrition. Back and forth on diets for years, not really like ever really made progress. So far was down 3.4 kg within 7 weeks we were working together. You can see the progress that she's made. And yeah, Karen's ready to go for another 3 months in the new year. So excited to carry on, like see what progress we can make. But yeah, for her, it wasn't, like I said just now, like it's not about like the perfect plan. It was about finding a plan that fit firstly to her ability level, but then also to her lifestyle, her work schedule. We just gave her example like meal plans that she could follow, not to be really strict on, but just examples of what she could do to keep herself within the calorie deficit. We kept her accountable with daily check-ins. And yeah, so that's Karen. And secondly, another great client that I was with for a while, Ruka. So yeah, I think her main issue at the time was time was a big issue. What she worked long hours at the hospital. It was just finding that routine, because there was never going to be the perfect routine. But yeah, just finding something that she could fit into her lifestyle, into her schedule. So yeah, she lost 5 kg within her first month of working together. So the training plan that we set up, it was about 3 sessions a week, about an hour long. She didn't need loads of time. Just making little tweaks to her diet here and there. And yeah, she is now pregnant. So she's not, because I think she was like a high risk pregnancy. So she wasn't, or she was advised against doing any kind of strength training. But yeah, it was great seeing her progress in the time that we worked together. Probably the best thing was how excited she was when she told me that she was able to fit into a pair of jeans that she wasn't able to fit into before. That's probably one of the best things about the process of like doing the fat loss, doing the gym, and then fixing your nutrition and stuff like that. It's not just about the weight loss on its own. It's about how your clothes fit. It's about the energy that you have. It's about all the other things in your life that it helps beyond just the weight loss on its own. Because again, something else that I might get into a bit more on this call is that like weight loss doesn't necessarily mean fat loss. Weight loss can mean muscle loss if it's not done right. If you're on a strict diet, then yeah, it's not just about that number on the scale. Don't fixate on that too much. And yeah, next one, probably my favorite client. One of the one that I'm most proud of, definitely. My granddad, who 89. Well, on the call on Thursday was his birthday on Wednesday, the 17th of December. 89, and he's been coming to the gym once a week since January, and he's loved it. He did say at the start, before we started working together, that he was just getting tired going upstairs and getting out of breath and legs getting sore. So we just started small little things on machines, really light weights, just practicing just small movements. And he's done like really well. He's loved it. Obviously he's in great condition for his age. He was in for an operation the other day on his prostate, so he's not able to, I don't think he's able to do much for a little while now. But again, it's showing that it's not just about the scales necessarily. It's about keeping yourself moving well for as long as possible. And my granddad's been such a massive inspiration for that. So now let's get into December survival rules. I don't really like to call it rules. I just think it sounds too strict. Like I said, there's nothing that you do over the next couple of weeks that's going to completely derail your progress. But just little things that you can do to kind of like keep yourself on track. So first thing is anchor meals. What I mean by this is inevitably you're going to have more meals out, more like social events happening over the rest of the month. Try and keep your breakfast and lunch consistent, or as consistent as you can most days, because when those two meals are predictable, it makes the rest of it so much easier to manage. Next thing, the 80-20 rule. This applies not even just December, but this applies just more broadly. It's about keeping normal structure most of the time, controlling what you can, and then allowing for the 20% that can go off the rails, and not feeling guilty about that 20%. Next thing, protein first. Always try and like lead each meal with protein, which is going to keep you fuller and just makes the meals more balanced. It's not about cutting carbs, but it's just prioritizing the most important thing, which is protein, which most people just don't get enough of. Next thing is no saving calories. This is a big one. I know a lot of people, naturally, you're thinking that if you're trying to stick to a calorie deficit, you want to lose weight, that you're better off if you've got a meal out in the evening, that you can just cut your calories the whole day. Definitely don't do that, because when you go into the meals, when you're going out and you're starving, it's so easy to down like 2,500 calories plus in that meal out when you've starved yourself the whole day, and you're going for easily like the highest calorie options and all the drinks and stuff that's going to push you way over. So get your protein in throughout the day. Keep yourself just eat pretty much as you normally would. Then when you don't go into that meal starving, you're way less likely to push yourself over your calories. You're not going to go for all of the unhealthiest options. And then final thing, pick your drink non-negotiables. Decide in advance which drinks you love the most. I think it's important anyway across December, that don't snack just for the sake of snacking, just because it's there. Choose the things that you love having, that you don't want to give up, and enjoy them. Make sure that you enjoy them and be intentional about it. Don't just go for anything just because it's there. And December, it's not about massive progress. Again, we don't have long left of the month now, but it's more about damage limitation. And most important thing is keeping to routine, or at least starting to build it up now. Because I think a lot of people place their hopes on January being the magic reset, that January is going to come around, they're going to be a completely new, completely different person. But if you can get them into the routine of it now, you're not placing your hopes on January being like that magic reset, because you're not going to be a different person in January. You're still the same person, and you might be able to do something for 2 weeks, but it's about how can you sustain it long term. And for a lot of people starting in January, it's very hard for that to last beyond the first few weeks. So yeah, training over the next few weeks or next couple of weeks. If you are busy, you don't need loads to just maintain where you're at. Like I said, December's not about massive progress. Sometimes you go through periods of life where it's just about maintaining. So 2 to 3 sessions a week can definitely be enough to maintain. All you need is really like 30, 40 minutes. Can definitely be enough. Fundamentally, just trying it into your head that like anything that you do is better than nothing. Anything above zero is going to compound. So yeah, 30 to 40 minutes can be enough. In terms of what to do in the session, compound exercises can be really good. So they're where like you're working multiple muscle groups at the same time. You can think like your squats, your deadlifts, your rows, your presses, where you're hitting multiple muscle groups at the same time. You get more bang for your buck out of the time that you're exercising. Superset's good as well. So that's where you're working 2 different exercises back to back. So it could be like, what I quite often like to do with clients is like working back to back muscle groups, like working like the agonist muscle and the antagonist muscle, which is basically like you're working the bicep and then the tricep. Like you do a set of curls and a set of push downs, or a set on quads and then hamstrings. You're working back to back muscles. You can do it with the same muscle group, but yeah, by doing something back to back, it basically saves time. You have no rest in between them. And yeah, other thing is strict rest. I know a lot of people with their rests, if they're on the phone or they're chatting with other people, it's easy to let your rest times go to like 3-5 minutes plus, and it's just you don't need it. You can just keep your rest time strict. Try and time them to even like 30 to 60 seconds if you're short on time, but generally like 60 to 90 seconds maximum is all like you really need on most things. So yeah, getting into now the new year fat loss accelerator. So what you're going to do in the new year to build that consistent routine to drop the 5-10 kilos, like not through extremes, not through doing anything crazy, but just more through consistency. So the first thing that I'm going to go into is around nutrition. So what not to do, like I've been into, it's not about the extreme diets. If your deficit is too big, if you're slashing calories too low, then it's too strict. You might be able to sustain it for like a week or two, but when your deficit is too big, firstly, you're more likely to lose muscle than fat. The muscle is what is going to keep your metabolism up. When your deficit is too big, you're going to be losing that muscle. You're going to end up feeling worse. You're going to be hungry, and it's just so hard to sustain that. Same thing with like clean eating rules, where you're not allowed the chocolate or the cake or the wine or whatever you want. If you're labeling foods as good or bad, you're going to feel guilty about having the thing that you shouldn't have, and that's what's more likely to make you rebound. But yeah, and then the all or nothing mindset, thinking that if you've had one off day, one off meal, that the rest of the day, the rest of the week, the rest of the month is gone. There's no point trying anymore. Definitely don't fall into that trap. What to do instead is finally what will dictate whether you gain or lose weight is calories in versus calories out. So first thing on that is working out your daily calorie burn. So obviously it's different for different people depending on gender, age, like activity level, a few different things. Basically, if you're like, as you know, if you're eating less calories than you're burning, then you're going to lose weight. First thing you're looking for about a 300 to 500 calorie deficit to make it sustainable. That's if people are going in with deficits of like 1,000 plus, you might be able to like do it for a little while, but it's very rarely is that sustainable long term. And again, you're more likely to be losing muscle than fat. So yeah, on the call we did do a little like interactive piece with I think it's Teresa working out her calories. But yeah, you can go for any go look at any like online calorie calculator. It will ask you to put in a few different things. So putting in your go and find one now. So your age, firstly, your gender. So let's say you're like a 40-year-old, you're female. You put in your height, which could be I don't know like 160 centimeters, and then your weight, which might be like I don't know 80 kg. Activity level. Let's say like exercise 1 to 3 days a week. You just put in all of those different things. It will tell you roughly. It will give you your maintenance. So say that's around 1,979 for like an average 80 kilo, 160 centimeter woman with like moderate activity levels. For the deficit on the basis of 1,900 calories to maintain, we're looking for a deficit of around 1,500 to 1,800 each day. So that way we're looking at it will be somewhere between 0.25 to zero point 0.5 kilos weight loss per week. So 0.5 kg fat loss per week on the basis of a 500 calorie deficit works out to around 1.5 to 2 kilos fat loss per month. And again, it's nothing extreme. It's just a small, steady fat loss that makes it easier to sustain longer term. Another good way to think about this is a pound of fat is 3,500 calories. So if you have that 500 calorie deficit across 7 days, that works out to that 3,500 calories. That's a pound of fat loss a week. So yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of calories. So it's nothing too extreme, just a small steady deficit that you're able to stick to over the long term. Next thing, another massive part of what you need is protein. Most women don't get anywhere near the amount of protein that they need. Like I said, if you're in too big of a deficit, you're more likely to lose muscle than fat. But the other thing is protein. If you're not getting enough protein and you're in that deficit, then again, you're more likely to be losing muscle than fat. I did do a YouTube video on protein like a while ago that did fairly well on proteins. You can go and watch that if you want to learn a bit more about that. But yeah, protein is the nutrient that's going to help you feel the fullest. Protein is what helps to maintain and build lean muscle, which again makes you feel better. It makes you look better, look more toned, which is what you want. And then keeps that lean muscle when you're dieting. In terms of how much you need, like in an ideal world, you're looking for around 1.6 to 2 grams per kilo of body weight, which does sound like a lot. I know like most women just don't get anywhere near that. So that's on the basis of if you're like 70 kilos, you're looking for around 140, 150 grams per day, which is it's something about 1 gram per pound of body weight. What that kind of looks like for most people that like for most women in general, and for anyone that I work with, is just encouraging them to get a protein source in each meal, because naturally for most people, breakfast and lunch are like fairly low protein, and most of their protein comes in the evening. Try and base each of your meals around a protein source, 20 to 30 grams in each meal, and then maybe like 1 or 2 protein snacks throughout the day if you need it. A good rule of thumb when you're looking at buying foods is the protein's calorie ratio. A lot of foods might say that they're high protein, but when you look on the label, that will tell you if they are or not. So you're looking for a minimum of 10 grams protein per 100 calories for it to be a good source of protein. But the main thing is just try and base each of your meals around a protein source. And again, those are like 1 or 2 snacks in a day if you need it to top up your intake. Next point is fill up on volume. So one of the big reasons that people struggle with the fat loss is mainly hunger, because you're eating less than you're burning, your body's wanting the extra food. Your body's trying to fight to maintain your weight. So after protein, try and fill up around half your plate with veg. Veg is gonna, like, veg and fiber, like high fiber carbs, are gonna fill you up more. Yeah, they're gonna fill you up more, and it's good to think about the goal is not to try and eat like tiny portions. It's to eat larger volumes of large volumes of lower calorie foods that are going to fill you up more. Yeah, vegetables, fruit, lean protein. They take up more space in your stomach for like relatively few calories. And again, it's that thing of like, the more you fill up on volume, the less you're going to feel like you're restricting yourself. You fill up on the volume like 80%, and then 20% you allow yourself the sweet foods that you want to have. Now, how to make room for the foods that you love. Like I said about the 80-20 rule, you can allocate 20% of your calorie budget can go on whatever foods you want. Again, for some women it's chocolate, for some it's crisps, for some it's wine. Choose what the things are that you refuse to give up and make room for them. You can have 20% of your calories going on whatever you want. It's around 200 to 300 calories a day, roughly, or around, like 1,500 across. Trying to do the maths now. Like about 2,000 calories across the week. You can put on whatever you want, guilt free. So yeah, it's helpful to have that target. You can have those foods, and you don't need to feel bad about them because they're within your plan. When you plan for it, you don't need to feel bad about it. Just have them, enjoy them, and just move on with your day. Don't feel bad about having those foods because you know that they will fit into your deficit if you're intentional about them. Next pillar, main thing, is training. So what not to do, relying on cardio, which, yes, it burns calories. I know if you're on the treadmill, you're on the Stairmaster, it's nice to see that calorie burn just going up and up. It can help to an extent, but you'll probably know that, like, when you've done a hard cardio session, if that's like a run or whatever, that naturally you're hungrier when you've done it. Your body's, again, it's wanting to replace that energy that you've just burned through the exercise. Second thing is that when you do more cardio, it's gonna naturally make you move less throughout the rest of the day. Your body's trying to conserve your weight. It's trying to conserve the amount of energy that you're burning. So yeah, you're naturally going to move less after you've done it. Second thing is long sessions. I know Sarah put a message in the group about this the other day, about how long sessions should be. There isn't, beyond a certain point, your body can only take so much. Like if you're going above like 90 minutes, like to 2 hours, your body just can only take so much fatigue in one session. Because in the session you're breaking down the muscle, it can only take so much in one go that it can repair from. So yeah, you definitely don't need like really long sessions. And again, in a second, I'll go on to like what to do instead, or how long you actually need. Next point is on using random equipment without structure. I know for a lot of women who are new to the gym or don't really know what they're doing, they're going to be probably have their routine in mind of like their 5 or 6 different machines. So they'll wander around aimlessly, pick a random weight that they think is about right, and then just go on to the next one. So definitely don't use random equipment without any structure. Their final point is using heavy weights without technique. It doesn't matter how much you lift if you don't have the correct technique. Then you're not working the muscle that you want to work, and then you're also increasing your injury risk, which I doubt that you want. So what to do instead? Besides your diet is going to be the main factor in whether you gain or lose weight. But strength training is massive in your fat loss because it's not only helping you look more toned, but it's also increasing your metabolism. So increasing the calories that your body is burning, even when you're not exercising. On the resistance training, aggressive overload is a massive thing. That's where you want to be keeping track of your weight and your reps. Each time you come back to the same thing, you're looking for like a little increase in the weight or the reps of what you've done. And that's what's going to help build that lean muscle that's going to like continually boost your metabolism. Same thing on the point of following a plan. Have a plan, and then within that plan, you can track week to week of what you're doing. So you know last time what you did, you know what to aim for to just slowly progress on that. Next thing is, and how long your session should be. You don't need more than 45 minutes to an hour within one session. Like I said, beyond an hour, 15, hour 30, like your body just can't. Your body can only take so much, and you'll probably find like after an hour you just get like fatigued, you get tired, you can't give the exercises your full effort. So try and keep it to about an hour. Put more into it. Try not to get too distracted by your phone during the session. Just stay focused, and just give every single set your full effort. Again, with the compound exercises, from these you get more bang for your buck. They work more muscle groups. They're going to be burning more calories during it and after it. So always put those first, and then you can do your accessory exercises after if you've got specific areas of your body that you want to work on. If it's your arms, your glutes, whatever, put those after. But prioritize those compound exercises that are working more muscle groups at a time. And focus on technique. So always put good technique over the weight that you're lifting. It doesn't matter. Like, again, if you're lifting more weight but your technique isn't there, you're not hitting the muscle that you want to work. So always prioritize your technique first. Next point is on how often should you change your workouts. I think again it was Sarah that said about this before. Now I know that it's nice to like constantly change your sessions, to constantly do something new each time you come into the gym. The issue with that is when you're always changing, you're not going to really get stronger, and it makes it really hard to track your progress. The only way that you know if your body's adapting is if you're doing the same thing consistently week to week, and looking to gradually just improve the weight and the reps that you're doing. Usually the first like 1 or 2 times doing a new exercise, it's more about just learning the technique, working out how to work the muscle properly. And then it's as you build on that, you get more comfortable with it, you're able to push yourself more and start actually working the muscle. So try and stick to just stick to a consistent plan. Usually with clients, I'll do like a period of like 4 to 6 weeks on the same plan, going through the same sort of thing. Take a little week after that just to maybe back off a little bit, to deload slightly, and then go back into it again with maybe like a fresh focus in the next phase. So it's just about it's generally about 4 to 6 weeks. It's short enough to make progress, but it's not so long that like you get bored of it or just lose focus towards the end of it. But definitely don't be switching it up every single week. Next point is on how to be more confident in the gym. I know this was mentioned in the group by quite a few people. And I know naturally for a lot of women, like it's hard to have that confidence when you go into the gym for the first time. It doesn't feel natural. I know that it can feel like everyone is judging you. And I think it's completely normal. How you be more confident, having a plan, like I said, like having that plan, if you know what you're doing step by step, really helps, rather than just wandering in and like the gym's packed and you don't know what you're doing, and just the like path of least resistance is going to be maybe try 1 or 2 different things, then just want to walk out. Having that plan really helps. Second thing is just focusing on yourself. I know when I started in the gym back like 4.5 years ago, I really struggled with confidence. I didn't want to go near the like free weight section for a while for fear of like, I don't want to do something wrong. I don't want like people to judge me. What helps me was using headphones, noise cancelling headphones, just blocking out what's going on around you. Just try and focus in on yourself as much as you can, but then also realize that no one is thinking about you as much as you are thinking about yourself. That's probably only something that you really learn like over time. Probably the main point, like I put here, is like confidence just comes from just continually doing the uncomfortable thing. It's never going to be there at first. If you keep pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone, you keep doing the uncomfortable thing, put yourself in that area more often, the more you do it, the more it becomes comfortable, the more it becomes normal. So just continually try and look to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. And then another point is, if you can train with someone, like bring a friend, or like maybe get a coach, cough. If it can help to have that support with someone, so you're not on your own, even just like with a friend going into the free weights area, you know that you're not alone. So it just makes it so much less intimidating. But again, main thing, just keep doing the uncomfortable thing more and more times. You'll get comfortable with it eventually. It's just the first few times it can be hard, but just keep doing it and you'll get there. Next point is on schedule workouts in your calendar. I think there's a lot of people just don't do this when they start going to the gym, and I find it crazy how people don't put it in their calendar when it is a priority. But it just makes it, when it's there blocked out in the calendar, it makes it so much easier to just stay in that routine. If the time is blocked out, if you block that time out like you would have any like meetings or appointments, block that time out. Try and make it, like, I know you might have other things going on, things might crop up, but just try and make that time as non-negotiable as you can, and it just makes it so much easier to then stick to that routine. So yeah, now to go on to what an example training week would look like. Say if you are like short on time, you only got like 3 days that you can commit to within the week. It could look like, say, a lower body, an upper body, and a full body day. This might look like 3 full body sessions throughout the week, 45 minutes to an hour on each of them. We're looking to hit ideally each muscle group twice a week, and then maybe a little bit more focus on the areas that you're wanting to work on most. Try and avoid training the same muscle group back to back days. If you're doing like legs one day, legs the next day, you're not recovered. You're not going to like adapt like you want. So try and just keep a day of rest in between each of your sessions. So yeah, across the week, that's what like a rough week would look like. Obviously getting your steps and your activity in on the days that you're not training. Then in terms of training day, within that 45 minutes to an hour session, you're looking for, in terms of like a warm up, you don't need loads in terms of warming up. A few exercises that are warming up the exercises that you're going to be doing in that session, or like warming up the muscles that you're going to be using within that session can be good. So like doing like band exercises, like arm circles, just little things to warm up a little bit. And then the main lifts might be more than this for the main lifts, but the main ones, the reps are going to be slightly lower on the compound exercises generally, with slightly more sets, so slightly less reps, slightly more sets, 3 to 4 generally on the main ones, and then like 2 to 3 on the lower priority, like kind of accessory exercises, and these ones you might go slightly higher reps. Again, a day would look something like this, keeping your rest time strict in between a set, like 60 seconds for most of these. When you're fairly new is enough. 60 to 90 seconds is fine. So that's roughly what you could like get through that within an hour. And like I said, you would have usually for most people, I've set up like a upper lower split. If you can do like 5 days, it might look a little bit different. But yeah, that's roughly what an example training day would look like. So I think that's pretty much everything that I was going to run through today. Now that you've seen it, like a rough example of what a training day, a training week would look like, you've got a few options from here. So either you can do nothing. I'm guessing if you're watching this, that you're probably wanting to do something different to what you're doing now. At least if you watch like this far. Either do nothing. You can try it on your own. For a lot of people, like doing things on their own, it can work when they've got that knowledge, they can implement it. But sometimes without having that clear plan or support, that's where a lot of people struggle with that consistency. Or option 3, there is a way, if you want to make this stupidly simple in January, there is a way with a program that gives you structure, the accountability from day one. So on the next slide, I'll go into exactly what that looks like. So yeah, starting in the new year, launching a brand new 3-month accelerator program. And yeah, if you love, or if you've enjoyed what I've been through today, this basically encapsulates all of that and makes it really simple. So what this includes is firstly your own structured, tailored training program based around the time that you've got to train, your ability level. You get your own nutrition plan. So you'll get a meal plan, not that you have to follow it exactly, but just to give you examples of like something that you can follow. You get the like personalized daily habits, which are a big one. So like little habits around your lifestyle in the areas that you struggle most. If it's snacking, if it's often it's just getting like things like water intake, getting your water intake up, getting your steps up, and then yeah, like daily one-to-one message support as well. Plus the group, which I'm in the process of like launching properly. So you'll have other women on the same journey as you, trying to lose fat, trying to tone up, to interact with as well. So yeah, we're going to be starting on the 5th of January. I know we've got Sarah starting in January. We've got Karen, who I mentioned, also starting in January. At the moment, I'm leaving it to 6 more spots. I'm still in the process of getting a new app set up to get it so I can give everyone full attention. So if you are interested, go over to either if you've got me on WhatsApp, message me on WhatsApp. If not, go over to my Instagram, message me the word offer. And yeah, I'll send you all the details, even if it's just for a quick chat. If you're thinking about maybe you'd like to do something but you just want some more information, we can have a quick chat before you commit to anything. So that's completely fine. And yeah, the great thing about this is that because it's a fully online program, you're not tied to specific times, or like any particular location. So yeah, you can complete it from anywhere. Like PT is great. I do like still do PT a lot with people, but there's only so much support I can give someone within an hour. But with this, you get the full like 24/7 support when you need it, because fat loss isn't just about that 1 hour that you do in the gym. It's about like everything that you do outside of it that has more of an impact. So. And yeah, it was at this point in the presentation that we went on to questions. We did do a little Q&A at the end. Obviously, I'm recording this back now, so there's no one on the call. But yeah, I mean, if you have any questions, you can just go onto my Instagram or like message me on WhatsApp with any questions you've got about it. And again, if you want that chat about how like a program could look, then yeah, feel free to drop me a message. But yeah, and I hope you enjoyed this. Any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you for watching through to the end. And I will be looking to do more calls like these soon. So yeah, we'll see you soon.